There are certain relationships in Star Wars that you just can't stop thinking about. Not because they were written as grand romances or epic rivalries, but because they changed the characters in ways you didn't notice until years later. Ezra Bridger and Ahsoka Tano is one of those. It's not a partnership you'd put on the poster, but it's one that quietly shaped the entire story. And the more you think about it, the more you realize how much she mattered to him. Ezra had Kanan as his official Jedi Master, sure, but Ahsoka brought something different to the table, something the old order never could have given him. She wasn't weighed down by rules. She wasn't preaching about attachment every 5 seconds. She'd seen the galaxy at its absolute worst and still managed to keep her heart intact. That kind of perspective is priceless, especially when you're training a kid who could easily go down the wrong path. And let's be honest, Ezra wasn't exactly the easiest student in the galaxy. He was impulsive, stubborn, way too confident for someone with barely a year of training. Kanan tried to rein that in. Ahsoka, she knew better. She found ways to use it, to make his recklessness work for him instead of against him. It's like teaching someone who runs with scissors to at least point them away from their face. Not ideal, but better than a trip to the medbay. What makes it even better is that Ahsoka didn't just tell Ezra what to do, she showed him. Whether it was slicing through Inquisitors like they were a minor inconvenience, or talking about the choices she'd made when the Jedi fell. Every lesson came with a piece of herself attached to it, and Ezra picked up more from those moments than he ever could from just memorizing Jedi philosophy. And yet, their connection is easy to miss if you're not paying attention. It's in the small glances. The way he asks her questions that have nothing to do with missions. The way she actually listens. She treated him less like an apprentice to be molded, and more like a person who needed guidance without losing who he already was. That's rare, especially in a galaxy where everyone wants to tell you what you're supposed to be. In this video, we're going to break down exactly why Ahsoka was the best master Ezra could have had in Rebels. We'll look at the moments that defined their bond, the ways she taught him without ever making it official, and how her influence shaped the choices he made long after they were separated. By the end, you might just see that her role in his journey wasn't a side note, it was the foundation. And without her, Ezra might never have become the Jedi he was meant to be. When you first watch Rebels, it's easy to see Kanan as Ezra's main influence, the mentor, the teacher, the Jedi who steps in to show him the ropes. But then Ahsoka walks into the story, and suddenly, the dynamic shifts. There's something different about the way she talks to him, the way she listens, the way she guides without feeling the need to lecture. It's subtle at first, but it sticks in your head. Ahsoka isn't weighed down by the Jedi Council's rules. She's not constantly quoting the code or giving him that disapproving look every time he questions something. Instead, she meets him where he is. A kid from Lothal with a quick wit, a stubborn streak, and no idea what he's getting into. That approach makes you wonder, was she the one giving him the most important lessons all along? It's also telling that Ezra doesn't treat her like some untouchable Jedi legend. He jokes with her, asks her questions, and even pushes back without fear. There's trust there, but also a sense that she sees him as more than just a Padawan in training. She sees him as a person, and that's a big difference. And then there's their shared history of loss. Neither of them came up in the ideal Jedi pipeline. Ezra lost his parents young. Ahsoka lost her entire way of life when she left the Order. That shared trauma is like an invisible thread between them, even when it's never spoken aloud. The more you rewatch their scenes together, the more it feels like Ahsoka was quietly shaping Ezra into the kind of Jedi she wished had existed for her. It's honestly frustrating that more people don't talk about this, because when you think about it, QAnon was a great teacher, but he was still very much a Jedi in mindset. He carried the baggage of the Order, the rules, the traditions, and sometimes that meant he couldn't see past them. Ezra needed more than that, and Ahsoka filled in the gaps. Take their mission to find the Inquisitors. Kanan was all about the tactical plan, the straight line from A to B. Ahsoka, she was thinking 3 steps ahead, not just about the fight, but about what Ezra would learn from it. She wasn't just trying to win, she was trying to prepare him for the bigger picture. And you can see the difference in how they handle his impulsiveness. Kanan would get frustrated and try to rein him in. Ahsoka would acknowledge the impulse, then channel it into something useful. That's not just good teaching, that's understanding the student in front of you. What gets me is that the show doesn't hammer this home. It's almost hidden between the lines. You have to pay attention to the quieter moments, the looks, the advice given in passing. That's where you see her influence the most. It's a shame the story didn't give them more direct time together, because the little we got proves she was exactly the kind of master Ezra needed in those formative moments. And of course, part of what makes her so effective is that she understands loss in a way few others do. Ezra isn't just learning how to use a lightsaber. He's learning how to live with the weight of a galaxy at war, and Ahsoka's been carrying that weight since she was a teenager. When she talks to him about choices, You can feel the echoes of her own. Walking away from the Jedi, losing Anakin, watching the Republic fall. Those scars don't just fade, and she doesn't hide them from him. She lets him see that being a Jedi, or whatever they are now, means making decisions that will hurt. Ezra needed someone who wouldn't sugarcoat the cost of the fight. Kanan could warn him. Hera could encourage him. But Ahsoka could look him in the eye and say, "This will break you if you let it." That kind of honesty is rare, especially in a world where hope can feel like a fragile illusion. You can see it in how she reacts when the Ghost crew suffers losses. She's calm, steady, but there's a heaviness in her that Ezra notices. She knows the pain is coming for him too, and all she can do is help him be ready for it. It's bittersweet, because her lessons often came wrapped in tragedy, but those were the lessons that would stay with him the longest. But, let's be clear, Ahsoka Tano is not just some wise figure giving cryptic speeches in the corner. She is a living, breathing, lightsaber-swinging example of survival and adaptability. And when Ezra sees her in action, you can almost see the gears turning in his head. That's what I want to be. The way she dismantles Inquisitors without breaking a sweat, the calm confidence she carries, even in the middle of chaos. That's the kind of presence that sticks with a young Jedi. It's not just skill, it's composure. And that's something Ezra desperately needed to see. Her duel with the fifth brother and seventh sister, that wasn't just a fight, it was a masterclass in patience and precision. Ezra learned in minutes what some Jedi probably never learned in years, and Ahsoka never once made it about her. It was always about showing him there's more than one way to win. Even outside of combat, she's impressive. She navigates the galaxy like someone who knows every shadow and every secret, and Ezra gets to watch and learn from that. It's a different kind of training, but arguably just as valuable as lightsaber drills. Seeing her operate at that level, it's no wonder Ezra's confidence and understanding of the bigger fight grew so quickly. The best part is that Ahsoka never tried to turn Ezra into a copy of herself. She encouraged him to be his own kind of Jedi, or rather, his own kind of Force user. That freedom was something the Old Order never offered, and it gave Ezra room to grow in ways he might never have otherwise. She gave him the tools to trust his instincts, to question authority when it didn't make sense, and to fight for people, not just for ideals. That's the kind of guidance that doesn't fade, even when the master is gone. Ezra carried her influence with him long after their time together. You can see it in his decisions, in the way he handles leadership, in the compassion he shows to enemies and allies alike. Those are Ahsoka's fingerprints all over his journey, and maybe that's why she mattered so much, because she gave him something that outlasted any single battle. She gave him the belief that he could shape his own destiny. When you think about it, that's the greatest gift any teacher can give, especially in a galaxy that's constantly trying to decide your fate for you. Of course, the tragedy here is that their time together was limited. Circumstances, wars, and fate itself pulled them apart before Ezra could fully learn everything she might have taught him. And yet, maybe that's what makes her impact so profound. Because Ahsoka wasn't there to guide every step. She was there to give him the foundation to keep walking on his own. And when the moment came for him to face Thrawn, to make the ultimate sacrifice play, he didn't need her to tell him what to do. He already knew. In a way, her absence became its own lesson. Life doesn't let you keep every teacher forever. But the ones who matter leave pieces of themselves with you. The way you think, the way you fight, the way you choose. Ezra is living proof of that. He didn't just survive. He became the kind of leader who could inspire others. And that's as much Ahsoka's victory as it is his. Because even if she wasn't the master in title, she was the master he needed. And that's something no separation, no battle, and no enemy could ever erase. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that share button. My main channel is Critical Analysis Hub, where I post Star Wars content about the movies. My secondary channel is Critical Analysis Hub Plus, where I focus on the shows of Star Wars. And my third channel is Critical Analysis Hub XP, where I post comic books. Be sure to take a moment and check them out. Thanks, and may the Force be with you.